Well, he did it. The boy won. The son won. Yo, what is up everyone? My name is Jeff Krause and welcome back to the episode of MDK Racing Victory Stop. NASCAR 2020 is officially complete and we now have a brand new champion. The third youngest champion in NASCAR Cup Series history, 24-year-old Chase Elliott. 32 years ago, his dad, Bill Elliott, won the 1988 Series Championship. 32 years later, in 2020, Chase Elliott scores his first, and what I believe is going to be one of many NASCAR Cup Series championships. If you hear stuff in the background, that's because I'm living in Florida, South Florida, and we have a hurricane in our way. So there's a lot of rain, wind, gusts, things like that going on in the background. So I do apologize. Hopefully with some changes with the audio, I can get rid of that. But if you hear something in the background, that's that. All right, so now we're going to do a quick overview of the race. Simply put, this was a really good race. I really don't know what else to say. This is the first time, in my opinion, that the championship four was evenly stacked. Stage 1, Stage 2, really all four drivers weren't in contention. It wasn't until the second half of Stage 3 when you really saw Chase Elliott and Joey Logano in a league of their own. They were running 1 and 2, while Keselowski and Hamlin, they were starting to fall off. But Chase Elliott's way, his run to the championship was incredible. He had to start at the back end of the field because his car failed pre-race inspection twice. I just realized that this reminded me a lot of Jimmy Johnson in 2016 when his car failed pre-race inspection twice. He had to start at the rear of the field and won a 7th championship. Same thing happened today. Chase Elliott, he failed pre-race inspection twice, had to start the rear end of the field, came back and won the race. And Chase Elliott was a rocket, it seemed like. It looked like he hit the easy mode on a video game because his car was flying. He started the back end of the field, and by lap 30, he was already in 10th place. That was just incredible, and it really was kind of scary on how fast Chase Elliott was, and it made me think, if Chase gets the lead, this race is over. Now, during that time when Chase was moving his way towards the field, you had Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano already were racing really hard 12 or 15 laps into the race. Hamlin even pulled a slide jump move on Joey Logano and got pretty loose in the middle of turns 2 and 3. They were racing aggressively between the other playoff drivers or the championship drivers. I was surprised that no one wrecked or got any damage or any major contact with either another driver or the wall. But when Chase Elliott got up to the top 5 and really got with the other championship drivers is when his car seemed to either stall out or just level out with the other competitors. Because he would go on to finish 3rd in that stage. He would not get any higher than that. In the meantime, you had Logano and Hamlin who were racing aggressively hard the entire stage. A little bit later on near the end of Stage 1, however, Logano got to a bit of a gap, built up a pretty decent lead. But then as we got closer to the end of the stage, Hamlin looked like his car was set for the long run, started to get tighter, which helped him out a lot, and he started to run down Logano. But not enough for him to challenge Logano, and Logano would win Stage 1. But again, Stage 1, all 4 drivers were really competitive. Chase Elliott was just killing everyone. Keselowski was keeping in touch with Hamlin and Logano, wasn't able to contend, but still, he was able to keep up with the leaders. Now, Stage 2 began similar to how Stage 1 ended. Logano started out in front, built a decent lead. Hamlin was in second, and slowly as the green flag run went longer, he started to gain momentum and chase down Logano. But then Logano reported a possible vibration on his race car, or even maybe a loose wheel. And obviously, if you're racing for a championship, you do not want to take any chances at it. But he did say he will stay out until they can get within the pit cycle, because if you pit, you're going to go definitely 1 lap down, maybe 2 laps down, depending on how far back you are. But yeah, with Logano's vibration, that brings Hamlin a lot closer to be able to challenge with Logano. With those two racing, that brings Chase Elliott into the mix, and now you have a 3-car battle, which provided for a few laps some really fun racing. Elliott passes Hamlin on the outside to go take 2nd place, and then in a very bold move, pushes Joey Logano off of the dogleg, gives him a bump entering turn 2, and moves Logano out of the way to take the race lead. Let me tell you something. With Chase Elliott, I've never seen Chase Elliott race like this. I get it, we're in a championship race, you're going to race a lot differently than you would in any other race, but still, to see Chase Elliott race the way he ran today was kind of shocking, because I don't think anyone expected Chase to run like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of us thought of Chase as a sort of bland person that, he races, he does his thing, he'll win some races, but Nah, Chase Elliott came to play today. In the meantime, Keselowski, Logano's teammate, also reported a small vibration, but luckily for him, not too long after that, he pitted, and that brought along all the other championship drivers as well. And so pit stops take place, everything comes back to normal, the championship 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our first real caution comes out with 29 to go. Kurt Busch takes 2 tires, starts the race out in front. Elliott automatically takes the race lead right away from Kurt Busch. In the meantime, in the middle of the pack, you had Hamlin and Logano racing really hard to the point where both of them even made a bit of contact on the back straightaway. A bit of a tap on the side of the car. Nothing too much. Just typical stock car racing. You give your driver next to you a little nudge. It wasn't that bad. And remember when I said that the championship 4 was leveled out, like each driver had its moment? Well, around here, Keselowski started to come to life. Before, it was always Hamlin, Elliott, and Logano. Keselowski was the odd man out. Well, with under 29 laps to go and near the end of stage 2, Keselowski came to life. He had a tremendous restart, started I believe 5th or 6th, went way below the yellow line to get a good run off of the corner, and out of nowhere, he's now all of a sudden 3rd or 4th. Racing with the other championship 4 drivers and even contending for the lead. And then he was able to catch up to Chase Elliott for the race lead, which brought on the next 20 laps. Awesome racing between the two, swapping leads back and forth, drivers running different lines to get momentum off of each other, side-by-side racing. It was so cool to see those two drivers battle it out, hard, clean. Again, it was really fun. It was also kind of nerve-wracking because you didn't want them to wreck. You didn't want something to happen that takes both of them out, because we've seen that happen in the past. Bristol earlier this year between Logano and Elliott. But it was so cool just to see every championship driver have their moment in the sun, it seemed. And on the final lap of stage number 2, Keselowski on the inside sailed it down into the final turn, slides up, clears Elliott, and he wins stage number 2. And then we're going to move over to stage number 3. When stage 3 began, Chase Elliott led the entire way up until 55 laps ago when the final sequence of green flag pit stops took place. When that happened, Logano actually got out ahead of Elliott and got out to a 1.5 second lead. Now that's good. The problem is that 2 things. Number 1, Elliott has a much faster race car. Number 2, lap traffic. 4 or 5 cars was surrounding Joey Logano. And now, of course, when you're surrounded by lap traffic, you have to slow down. Elliott, he's got no one in front of him. He can just go all out. He erased Logano's lead like that. And after a couple laps from that pit stop, Logano was only 0.3 ahead of Elliott. And then when 43 laps ago, Elliott pushes Logano the entire back straightaway, gives him a bump entering turn 3, moves him out of the groove, and Elliott will go by and take the lead. And that'll be the last we would ever see of a battle for the race lead. Elliott goes on to win the race, but most importantly, wins the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series Championship, becomes the 3rd youngest driver in Cup Series history to win a championship. In fact, there's a little fun fact that I just heard. He's the youngest driver since Jeff Gordon in the 90s in terms of age, young age, to win a championship. I thought that was pretty interesting, but a cool moment then took place after the checkered flag. Jimmy Johnson, who finished 5th, by the way. That's why I'm repping this Johnson shirt to show my support for my favorite driver. Finished 5th. The only drivers that were ahead of him was in the championship 4. I thought that was a fitting ending. I mean, of course, you're going to have the legend. Even though he's not in the championship 4, he's still able to keep in touch with those guys. So it was really cool to see Johnson. He had a very clean race, solid race, had a really good car. And to see him end his career with a 5th place finish at Phoenix, I think that's going out on a high note. I didn't want to see Johnson finish 8th, 9th, 10th, or 12th. That would not have been a good way to go out. Top 5 finish. That was pretty cool. And then we saw a moment when Johnson and Chase Elliott both shook hands. And it was sort of like a passing of the torch moment. Because Johnson won his first championship in his 5th season. Jeff Gordon gave Johnson the opportunity. And when Johnson came over to Hendrick, he took over. Johnson, after Gordon retired, Johnson took over Hendrick Motorsports. Now Johnson's leaving, and Elliott, in his 5th season, wins the championship. So now it almost felt like, okay, my time is up. Chase Elliott, now you have the keys to Hendrick. Now it's your time to shine. And I thought that was a really awesome moment. There was even a very cool moment when you saw Johnson, Elliott, and Rick Hendrick both hugging right at the start-finish line. And it was an emotional moment, to say the least. I was smiling, but it was like a realization. This is it. This is his final race. And it's sad on one side because no one wants their driver to leave, but I am happy to see him leave on a good note. And with this top 5 finish, that brings Jimmy Johnson's total top 5s to 232. 83 career wins, 374 top 10s, 9,304 laps led. but most importantly, 7 Cup Series championships, ties with Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty, 5 in a row from 06 to 2010. That's something I don't think we will ever see in NASCAR history ever again. Yeah, it's a fitting way to end off a legendary career. As for Chase Elliott, he also had a really good 2020. 5 wins, 15 top 5s, 22 top 10s, 1,247 laps led overall in the season, an average finish of 11.7. And we take a look at the championship 4 results. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chase Elliott wins, second place Logano, third Keselowski, fourth Denny Hamlin. Let's talk about first Keselowski. His pit crew. Apparently the pit crew was the same pit crew from Austin Cindric, which played a big role in helping Austin Cindric win the championship. I don't know what happened between Saturday and Sunday, but Keselowski's pit crew was just off. Every single time on pit road, they would just keep on losing spots, losing 4, 5, 6, 10 spots, I think, in total. Out of all the pit stops they did, Keselowski's team lost more than 10. It was not a good day for the 2-cam. As for Joey Logano, I can't say he had a bad race. He just wasn't good enough. Simple as that. He did nothing wrong. His crew, his team, they did nothing wrong. It's just that Chase was just too good. Denny Hamlin, on the other hand. Denny Hamlin, in my opinion, is the new Mark Martin. I mean, he's had so many opportunities to go out there and have a shot at a championship. I think this is the 4th or 5th time overall where we've seen Denny Hamlin have a season where we think, okay, this might be the year that Hamlin wins it, and he doesn't. I don't know how many opportunities you can get left to win a championship, but Hamlin has used all of his mulligans, I feel like. We'll see what happens in 2021 with Hamlin, if he can continue this success, because he was really good in 2019, really good in 2020, was the driver to be, or at least one of the drivers to be. We'll see if that continues on in 2021. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on this race. It was a good race. It was a really good race. Again, every driver in the Championship 4 had their moment in the sun. Every driver was racing with other drivers, was competing hard, very aggressive. There wasn't what we saw in the Xfinity or in the Truck Series or any of the Championship 4s in the past where there was an odd man out. This time, we saw all 4 have real good shots. But at the end of the day, I feel like the entire race, we all knew that this is Chase's moment. This was Chase's time to win, and he did it. As for the 2020 season, I'm glad it's over. I'll be honest, this season has been through a roller coaster of emotions, from what happened at Daytona with Ryan Newman to COVID, to the playoff drama, and with the doubleheaders and midweek races and everything that just took place. I am thrilled that it's finally done. And it will for sure be a season that nobody in NASCAR will ever forget. But huge congratulations to Chase Elliott. I think this is going to be one of many championships. I don't think this is just going to be the only time. I'm really excited to see what he can do in 2021, especially with that Chevrolet group. It seems like now they might be coming back to life. We'll see what happens next season. There's a lot of things going on with Chevrolet. Kyle Larson coming in, with Chase Elliott being the champion now. We'll see how that takes place and how that momentum happens in 2021. Hendrick and RCR teaming up with the new engine department. Lots of new things going on in both the Chevy department and NASCAR as a whole, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the future, especially next year. As for this show, MDK Racing Victory Stop, has been awesome to be able to preview and review the races. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content over the 2020 season. Hopefully in 2021, I'll be able to cover F1 and IndyCar. That's my goal. I haven't gotten there yet, but that's the plan. Again, overall, thank you. Thank you so much for all the support you've given me throughout the 2020 season. I have some things on the back of my sleeve, or in my sleeve, that I want to tease in the future, this in just the coming weeks, so be on the lookout for that. I'll see how I can schedule it properly for you guys. So be sure to watch out for some more content. Just because the racing season's over for NASCAR, that doesn't mean the grind stops here on MDK. So make sure you look out for some more content coming your way in the future. But until next time, my name is Jett from MDK. Congratulations to Chase Elliott, your 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion. I'll see you next time. The lights just went out, so that's a sign that it's time to go. All right? Can this hurricane just wait, please? All right, we gotta go. Bye.